Hello, everybody. Eric Apricot here. Steph Curry, at age 37, is the oldest guard voted as an all-star starter. Congratulations, Steph.
I love the fact that pretty much every acknowledgement you get at this point is you're the oldest to do something.
Sorry about that, Steph, but you are on track for the third best scoring season of all time at age 37 plus. And in fact, the first most efficient volume scoring of all time at age 37 plus. And this season, the NBA released advanced tracking stats to calculate player gravity, and it's no surprise that number one by a huge margin is our own Stephen Curry. In fact, Steph's most devastating gravity comes from off-ball plays as a screener. Here, Steph sees Santos cutting through the paint. Steph flashes his thumb over his shoulder, a signal for "come hitch a ride on my screen." Zubac sees the screen coming, and he points to Kawhi to switch out onto Guy, but Kawhi says no one ever got fired guarding Steph Curry, so Guy Santos has a super open three-point shot. This video, we're going to focus on Steph's on-ball gravity in action in the pick and roll, and we'll see how he was defended by Mike Brown, the opposing coach who knows him best. This plays the dream scenario. Jimmy Butler setting a screen on Steph's man. Jimmy's defender is sunk way back, so when Steph turns the corner, Anunoby starts backing up, and Steph gets to walk into a pull-up three. Look at how high Draymond is setting this screen for Steph. These guys are literally standing on the logo. Draymond's defender, Karl-Anthony Towns, unlike Anunoby, he's going to step all the way up to the arc, which means he's deterred Steph from taking this pull-up three. Steph attacks his top foot and dribbles the opposite way. When Cat turns to stop Steph from going left, Steph immediately crosses over and goes right, and that leaves Towns the classical Greek sculpture called "Help, I'm Getting Cooked." And as Towns goes all out to backpedal, Steph just pulls up for the mid-range jumper. Payton sets a screen. The Knicks say, we're just going to switch assignments. Anunoby, you guard Steph. McBride, you guard GP2. Anunoby is in fact quite a good defender, but Steph still has a speed advantage on him, treating the defender like a French defender in the Olympics. So because Steph can burn you if you switch assignments, or if you drop back, Steph can pull up and shoot a three in your face, most teams end up liberally sending two players to defend Steph. Draymond Green with a dribble handoff right into a pick and roll with Steph. Karl-Anthony Towns has to step up to stop Steph from pulling up for the three. Unfortunately, Towns leaves a seam for Steph to go by him. You want gravity? We have Karl-Anthony Towns massaging Steph's side. Clarkson is digging in, trying to steal the ball from Steph. Deuce is acting like a jilted McBride, trailing Steph aimlessly, because no one ever got fired for guarding Steph Curry. And Anunoby rotating to stop Steph's layup. So that leaves Gary Payton II utterly open in the corner as four Knicks guard Steph. Draymond setting an early screen, McBride forcing Steph away from the screen. I don't know if that seems crazy, but it's part of blue defense, where the ball defender forces one player to reject the screen. Then the big defender sits back here in a drop to provide a loving welcome. Unfortunately, McBride thinks they're bluing the screen, and Karl-Anthony Towns does not, so he's standing way over here instead of over here, and that's going to let Steph turn the corner. Cat's body language portrays the deep sense of betrayal. Et tu, Deuce. Josh Hart has to rotate his help all the way off of Brandin Podziemski, and he has enough time to contemplate life. If suffering comes from attachment to material permanence, then why does it feel so good to shoot a three in your face? So the lesson is that if you're going to send two players at Steph Curry, they better get in his face. Jimmy Butler setting the screen. He slips the screen so fast that it's really homeopathic levels of screen. It doesn't matter. McBride is right on Steph. Anunoby is closing in on Steph. Jimmy Butler is quietly rolling. These two help defenders are too late, and Jimmy has a wide open lane to the basket. Another pick from GP2. OG steps up to the level of the screen. McBride is distracted just long enough to let GP2 make the short roll, and Steph with a looping pass that GP2 tracks down. Clarkson helps way off the corner, which leaves Moody with enough time to get philosophical. Buddhism, ignorance, craving, illusion. Corner 3. Horford with the screen. Now we've got 2 Knicks on Steph, playing their Shining Twins defense. Play with us forever and ever, Steph. Now, typically, Horford will be open on the short roll and Steph will just hit him with a pocket pass. But the Knicks do something interesting. Hart is playing way off of GP2, and he's ready to accept Horford on the short roll. So Steph cuts out the middleman and just skips a pass directly to GP2, who has enough time and solitude to speedrun Zen Buddhism. So we've seen how Steph Curry's existence warps defenses, which leaves open shots all over the court. But the Warriors have to make the shots to cash in on Steph's gravity. And not to pick on Post, but here's another screen. Incidentally, Deuce is bluing this screen, and this time Cat is in the proper position, dropped back to receive Steph. So Quinton Post rolls and gets the pocket pass from Steph. There is in fact a clear lane to the basket. Cat is actually able to catch up to Post and knock him off his line and force this incredibly ugly shot, which turns into an instant, beautiful Knicks fast break. So the point is, you can't take for granted that everyone can run a 4-on-3 to take advantage of Steph's gravity. And that's why it's been so good to have Jimmy Butler be the screener. Quick screen, Jimmy's defender is stepping up to the arc to stop Steph's pull-up. Jimmy slips the screen right away. Steph with one of his terrifying hook passes. Steph's gravity has caused a 3-on-2 near the basket. The big defender is rotating, but Jimmy is strong enough, quick enough, and skilled enough to finish at the basket. So that's just one of many reasons the Warriors are going to miss Jimmy Butler while he is out with a knee injury. I had a number of requests to discuss one more play. Steph Curry on the sideline, talking to the referee, along with now acting head coach Terry Stotts because Steve Kerr got himself thrown out. Defender Chris Dunn knows the assignment, and there's no way this inbounds pass is going to get to Steph, particularly because Steph is not even in the game. This looks like a Warriors play 22 where Podziemski is supposed to be standing over here, I think, but he seems to have very quietly drifted as far as possible away from Chris Dunn without calling attention to himself. Jimmy Butler cannot wait to get the ball from the referee. He's practically begging the referee to start the play, and he even claps to get the ball faster, instantly throws it to Podziemski. Kawhi quickly does a double take and says, what the? Who's supposed to be guarding Podziemski? The entire Clippers team are the very figure of a Rodin sculpture called the Burgers of WTF. To Chris Dunn's credit, he immediately holds up his hand and says, I totally screwed that up. Steph Curry, truly epic levels of gravity.